This is WFYI News Now. It's July 11th, and I'm Sarah Neal-Estes sitting in for Abriana Herron. These stories coming up on today's show. A program that investigates abuse against patients with mental illness could see its budget cut by over half. The Braun administration moves to eliminate statements, policies, and programs that reference diversity, equity, and inclusion. And details behind Indiana's plan to expand apprenticeship programs across the state.
Upskilling and the change in technology is, everybody knows it's happening now and more of it is coming. And so people they're going to need to skill up a little bit sometimes, and we want to help with that.
Those stories coming up, but first. Families can get free school supplies, backpacks, immunizations, and car seats this Saturday, July 12th. Covering Kids and Families of Indiana is holding their 25th annual Back to School Community Resource Day. Pam Humes is an organizer of the event and says they want it to be a one-stop shop for families.
A lot of people have a need financially. They have a lot of kids. They may not be able to afford the school supplies or even to pay to get a sports physical done or get their teeth checked, those kinds of things for their children as they get them ready to go back to school.
The event is at the Marion County Public Health Department on 38th and Rural Streets in Indianapolis. It's first come, first serve and starts at 8:30 a.m. A program that investigates abuse against patients with mental illness could see its budget cut by more than half in Indiana. Ben Thorpe reports it's part of a wave of potential federal cuts in Trump's 2026 budget proposal.
The program is called the Protection and Advocacy for Individuals with Mental Illness, or PAMI. The program monitors public and private psychiatric institutions, as well as hospitals or nursing facilities for abuse, punishment, or seclusion. Melissa Keys is the executive director for Indiana Disability Rights, the state's designated PAMI organization. She says the funding reductions will make it harder to help vulnerable patients and investigate alleged instances of abuse at facilities in the state.
That number is not enough that would facilitate a multi-year, pretty significant class action lawsuit or large systemic change issue.
Trump's budget proposals will ultimately require congressional approval. I'm Ben Thorpe.
Diversity has been removed from the state's employer values. That's one of many changes the Braun administration is implementing across Indiana state government to eliminate statements, policies, and programs referencing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Brandon Smith has this story on a new report that follows up on an executive order issued early this year.
The 135-page report includes identifying references to the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in archived meeting minutes, changing language in employee handbooks and mission statements, and eliminating positions and programs. Some examples include working to remove a continuing education requirement for real estate brokers on fair housing laws and listing agreements, ending a program to help Hispanic and Latino families enroll in the 21st Century Scholars Program, removing materials from the Department of Child Services website on racially diverse adoptive families, and eliminating contractors at the Office of Minority Health. The governor's office calls DEI mandates divisive and says they lead to inefficiency. The Indiana Black Legislative Caucus has said Braun's executive order perpetuates false and negative stereotypes and sends a message that the state doesn't care about fairness. I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
And our final story today. Indiana plans to strengthen and expand apprenticeship programs across the state through a $6 million federal grant. The Department of Workforce Development will use more than $1.2 million to expand existing apprenticeship programs, including at Ivy Tech, Vincennes University, and WorkOne locations across the state. Jason Graves is the Senior Director for the Indiana Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship. He says the rest of the federal funding will support new apprenticeships in industries like technology and high-demand fields like healthcare.
Upskilling and the change in technology is, everybody knows it's happening now and more of it is coming. And so people they're going to need to skill up a little bit sometimes, and we want to help with that.
Graves says Indiana has been a leader in registered apprenticeships for a long time and says he wants the funds to help build on that success. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin, Zach Bundy, and Abriana Herron, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm the news director, Sarah Neal-Estes. If you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thank you for listening. We'll be back Monday.